stop these up so he's starting. You can start whenever you want. You can go.
Yeah, good to go. Yes, Okay, welcome everybody to the second workshop of the day on Friday. So thank you for coming. Hope everybody's not sleepy from all the pizza. Now we're going to be talking about why community matters and how to build it. From Soulflare, if you don't know, Soulflare has been killing it on community growth. They've been doing excellent jobs with their ambassador programs like Guardians. So give it up for Nish from Soulflare.
How you doing, guys? I'm Nish. I go by Legend on Twitter. Don't ask why. But on the topic of community, it's already a perfect utilization of me being here because the team is not, but as an ambassador of the program, I'm representing for the team while they can't be here. So why the rebrand? So from the founder himself, Wheeler, it's just a tweet that he posted when they did their rebrand. Exactly 1 year ago in March 2024, when speculative shitcoins started gaining momentum, we took a step back and started reimagining Soulflare. We saw the crypto becoming a wasteland of opportunism driven by asymmetrical information, exclusive circles, and short-term thinking. But we knew that power of crypto, especially Solana, is greater. Instead of chasing trends, we chose grid over hype, growth over speculation. We envision crypto evolving from a niche playground for a few into thriving, inclusive financial ecosystem for the billions. This rebrand isn't just visual, it's our statement. Soulflare stands for self-custody stronghold, relentlessly dedicated to serving the community, breaking barriers, patiently building future. We are here to lead crypto out of the boom and blast cycles, championing real utility, transparency, and long-term stability. The leap we've taken reflects our deep respect for the builders and believers, the killer crews who know that true financial independence isn't a spirit, it's an enduring, bold marathon. And it will take time, but we have all the patience in the world until we get there. Welcome to the new Soulflare, the wallet built for great growth and greatness. So the new wallet, essentially the redesign, it's a new UI, sleek redesigned, intuitive navigation and smoother experience. 3 million plus tokens, trade instantly exploring top Solana coins and swap the best rates. Performance, faster loads, higher success rates, and cheaper transfers. Customization, personalize your portfolio with exclusive backgrounds from prominent Solana artists. So these are some of the examples. So essentially you got inspired by, Monkey DAO, one of the great DAOs that represents Solana for the longest time, Famous Fox, Dead King Society, and there's a couple one-of-one artists, Ika and I believe Trip Soul are two of the people that essentially did the art. So what is community? In literal terms, community is a group of people who share common characteristics, interests, social ties, and sense of belonging. In the terms of like Web3, it's members who are passionate about crypto, blockchain tech, decentralized finance, NFTs, specific crypto projects. They also form in like online spaces, primarily gather and interact in environments such as Reddit, or more so in like Web3, for instance, like social media platforms like Twitter, Telegram, Discord. Shared goals and values. Often members unite around specific cryptocurrency projects, broader mission, like promoting financial freedom, transparency, and decentralization. So these are some of the Web2 examples that kind of ties both. So this is an example of like a regular business where you have a business, they build a product, they serve it to their user base. The second one is kind of a company that's utilizing the community, where there's like Tesla, for instance, where they have their car, which they serve to the community, which is like essentially a Elon Musk cult. Essentially, it's what started it off, where that drove the product to become greater than it is. And then there's like what's closer to what we kind of know in the Web3 space is best example is like local sports teams, where, you know, like a neighborhood, for instance, will wanting to play soccer, basketball, whatever, and the neighborhood even supports that team, become greater than what it is, becomes like a league, right? And that league essentially creates like, goes into a stadium, starts selling tickets, merch, stuff like that. So this is a great quote by Joe Girard. The elevator's success is out of order. You'll have to use stairs one step at a time. So the reason why we use it is because there's kind of no shortcut to success. You literally have to take it one step at a time. And this looks like the down button on an elevator. So it kind of ties into the quote. This is how most marketing is essentially done, is they do a marketing blitz and they have a larger gathering of a community. And it slowly, as like FOMO dies out, you know, depending on the type of product it is, yield runs out, you slowly get down to that green little person at the bottom, who are the one or two people that are left in that community who still care about that product, right? And Soulflare took a different approach as to more look like the up button, right, on an elevator. Essentially what they did, and it's part of the the ambassador program, for instance, and the Guardian program that they have, is ambassadors, for instance, is like people who just randomly preach the gospel of Soulflare on Twitter, and they randomly just reach out to them and essentially put them on, and then ask them why that they still use it, and then they empower them to bring on more people. And they did the same thing with the Guardians program, which is not more of it's still a tight circle, but it's a larger group. And again, they do the marketing of like, we love using the product, and they refer their friends, and they refer their friends' friends. And it becomes kind of like an MLM model, for example, but done the right way of serving the community, right? So why community matters? So this is my story of how I joined Soulflare and the ambassador. It's almost a year now. So on May 31st, 2025, I would have been 1 year as the Soulflare ambassador. And how my story went is I just randomly just tweeted out, because when I entered Solana like 3+ years ago, I just used Soulflare because everybody, for the most part on Solana, got onboarded by NFTs. And the only wallet that kind of had this built-in feature was Solana, is for bulk sending NFTs, right? Famous Fox, for instance, I'm not talking down on them, but they did build a product where you could bulk send, but this was built in on the ground level on the wallet. And when back in that day, we were buying not one or two NFTs, there were like hundreds of NFTs that were just bought daily. And when you're switching wallets and stuff like that, Soulflare had that feature from way back when, and that's the main reason why I started using it. And ever since, I saw the growth of Soulflare, the wallet that was just committed to Solana, because they didn't go multi-chain like most other wallets, right? And because I was just randomly tweeting things about like Soulflare and why I love it, I got a DM from the founder, and then a few months later, I got this tweet in my DMs, or this message in my DMs, like saying that, hey, we want you to be part of our ambassador program. And that's kind of the genius way that they kind of did it, because instead of just trying to bring on a whole bunch of people that may or may not use it or care about it, they actually reached out to the people who are actually talking about it without them putting any effort. It's essentially just free marketing, and got us to do the onboarding. Because if we already care about it and we see the benefit and why it's a better product, we're more inclined to refer other people that is in our other communities to use that product as well. Essentially, it's the backbone of any successful ecosystem. And coming on to this is how many ways that you can actually utilize community. Marketing, it's essentially just free marketing, and you could even empower them and pay some of your community members to do so. But honestly, when you handpick the select group of people, they will market it on your behalf for you. And we've seen that from our ambassadors and guardians. HR, this is something where you can't vet everybody, and it's funny how HR comes into play as part of community. Is like when we get, not everybody's perfect in vetting people out, and when we get little bad seeds here and there in the community, the larger community will speak up, just like in real life, that hey, this person has done this person has done that, and the community as a whole will voice that opinion, and you get that person removed if they don't meet the certain expectations and the integrity of the community. Creative, this is something that our like Sulphur Guardians, for instance, has done a crazy job at. They do like threads, they do videos of the product. No team member has asked them, no team member said like, hey, do this for us and we'll pay you. They literally just care about the product and they see the benefit of it, and they just do it. It's just free marketing, right? Products, so it kind of improves the product. When you have a large group of people that actually care about it, they will tell you why your platform sucks, if there's a bug, if there's an issue. They will give you that feedback where you make it better. BD. This is something that we've seen a lot of ambassadors and even some of our guardians, for instance, have grown in the space. Where like me, for instance, like I do strategy consulting for multi-chain, for instance. That becomes a cross business development opportunity for Soulflare. We've had a whole bunch of people that from the community that built their own product or have become essentially somebody in the space where it becomes a cross business development opportunity. Support. So let's just say there's an issue where like an NFT collection that just launched is not loading properly. Somebody talks about it on Twitter, right? And instead of like the team always having to stare at Twitter all day or their Discord or their Telegram, a community member could like recognize that and will answer that question on your behalf, where you're basically reducing some of that support that you need to do from the team level, right? Development, there's a lot of devs in this space, right? And there's devs in communities. And if there's an opportunity that comes up where if you notice certain things or if there's certain ways you could improve the current platform, right? There's an opportunity there. And lastly and most importantly is growth. You organically grow your community by basically just empowering the people who already care about it. And that leads to the next slide. Essentially, is just these are the metrics with no community. So the white parts that you see here is a wallet that will go unnamed, and then the yellow is Soulflare, right? This is with no community, followers, massive delta, reach, massive delta, post, massive delta. This is with the ambassadors, right? There's currently about 30 and change ambassadors. This is the social impact that it has. As an overall follower account, higher. Overall reach, higher. The amount of posts, higher. And this is ambassadors and the community together. It gets even bigger, right? And then these are just individual metrics. As for Soulflare socials, this is just this account on its own. 12 million impressions, 63K new followers, 92K replies, 369K likes, 58K reposts. And it says 45 affiliates there, but ambassadors wise, it's about 30 and change. From 12 million, you're getting 93 million, right? New followers, like almost a 4x, replies, 4 or 5x, likes, as naturally is just grow, right? And those are the types of impacts that you building a more organic community could do. And that's what Soulflare has done. And that's it from me as for the presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yes.
I was wondering, like, when you're early stage startup with limited funds, like, what kind of ideas you have to empower and reward those ambassadors?
You're kind of in the most perfect position to do that, right? Like, no funds. This is literally the best no funds approach, right? The moment that people there's ways to like slowly onboard people, and there's always somebody that will always jump, right? And then you just have to figure out who really, really likes your product, right? Or whatever that you are producing, and kind of bring them on board, like make them feel special, tell them like certain things that you're doing that you don't openly announce because they already care about your project. That's why they're there very early on, right? And then if you continue that approach, right, you can get them to bring your next set of users or community members, right? It literally doesn't cost anything. You're basically it's how people feel, right? Even me, like I did not know about an ambassador program or anything. It's like I just used it because I liked it. There was other wallets like again at the time it's Phantom that was just taking off and it's still taking off. But like for me, it was just a personal thing of this is what I used from when I entered Solana, and I still use it to this day. And I was part of that growth, even though there was better products, right? And from that, we are here, right? And it didn't cost the team anything, right? And I'm pretty sure, like I've reached so many of my friends and family, and then even when I go to like real life events, right? I just talk about it. Here we are, right? Like the team couldn't be here, right? So imagine that like you want to do some networking in another country and you have a member, I don't know, it's like somewhere in America, right? And you cannot be there because again, you're an early startup. You don't have the money to fly out there to present or whatever. And you have somebody in your community that knows your product really, really well, right? You can just simply ask them like, hey, would you like to do this for us, right? Even if it costs something, right? It could be very minimal compared to like you hiring somebody to do that for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
No worries. Anybody else?
For the last few slides, do you know what analytics software was used? Like,
Oh, it's just Twitter. Like,
Oh, just Twitter analytics?
yeah. So I think like when you have the company like badge, like whatever you pay for,
Okay, yeah.
things like ridiculous amount, like 30, like it's part of the analytics thing.
Okay, so it wasn't like Dune or Kaido or anything like that?
No.
It was just like,
I believe even if you have the personal premium plus,
Yeah.
it gives you stats for your personals, which
Okay.
is similar to what you saw. Yeah.
Let's say what kind of incentives do you use to attract these ambassadors?
Absolutely nothing. Like,
Let's say you're not so.
I'm an ambassador, so I'm on the receiving end,
Let's say
right?
you're not this famous and you don't have like a flashy wallet and everything. Let's say you're early stage and you're not that well known. You want to attract these people. What do you give them?
So again, Soulfare, this big flashy brand, as you say, right? Again, it's not as big as what's on the market and what's getting mindshare, right? And I'm pretty sure before this whole rebrand, which was like a ramp up for the year, not a lot of people actually like talked about it. There were so many other things that was just gaining so much mindshare, to be completely transparent, right? And they literally just reached out. Like, if you look at my Twitter, for instance, I have under 3K followers. You think a company like Soulflare would see a person who gets like 3-4 likes and retweets, for instance, as a value add, unless that the approach was wrong, right? It was all the approach. It's like they already found a random guy, me, who gets okay engagement, but I was already preaching the gospel that is Soulflare without them putting any effort, right? And it's just asking. You can ask 100 people, and if you get 10 quality people, right, that's your start to building that community. And it's building a community with just people that care, and that will just have that trickle-on effect like me caring about something, I would only talk to other people that also share the same interest, and they will also care, right? Where like even the whole down button approach, it's where like most companies with like big budgets do, they just do a marketing blitz. They'll gain like 100,000 people, and then they'll just like, as people lose interest, right? You're stuck from that 100,000. You're probably stuck with maybe like few thousand, right? And depending on if it's a product, if it's a token, right? It's either like, if it's a token, for instance, for lack of better words, they just call them bag holders, right? Like they're just stuck, right? They're just holding on to what's left and they're just hanging around as I am part of the community, right? For a product, for instance, right? Like you just attract the people that are already using it, right? That are already passionate about it. They would probably know other people who are passionate about it. And if you empower them, right? Again, they didn't throw any money at me in that tweet, right? They just sent me a DM saying that like, hey, welcome to the ambassador program. Here's a chat. Oh, and you will get a Twitter badge, right? That's about it. That's how the program started. And all the ambassadors, like essentially we did regular calls. We liked each other because we were part of the same community, right? We help each other grow. Like anything that we tweet, we'll like and retweet, right? If we post anything, even the main account will like and retweet, right? And that's how you grow. And that's like organic growth. It's literally no cost, right? And if you add cost to that mix, it's just adding gravy to that experience, because who doesn't like me, right? Yes, sir.
How do you, clearly you're passionate about the product and you were happy to become an ambassador. Has there been, like, what has been rewarding for you about being in their program? Like, is it the community itself? Is it how they make you feel? Do they incentivize you every once in a while? Like, how involved is the company with the ambassador program?
They're pretty involved. Like as for like getting feedback, like we have a Telegram group and stuff like that. Like they incentivize with like, even for last year, whoever is there, they provided like breakpoint tickets.
Okay.
Right. They were a partner with like Keystone Wallet, which is like another, like a ledger, like a hardware wallet. All the ambassadors got one. Even for like, if there was a cost to being here, like because they're sponsoring the Super Team Canada event, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have to pay. There's Accelerate coming up. I'm heading there thanks to Soulflare, right? So it's whoever is willing to represent the brand, they will do their best to support you.
Cool.
And that's all things that came with zero expectation. Right? You literally onboard people with zero expectation. And as you grow your company, for instance, like let's just say your company blows up, right? And then you're in a position to reward those early people that did do this for you. Why wouldn't you do it? Right? So that's the community thing that came to be. And even when they did the marketing for the rebrand, it's not like no KOLs were needed. Like nothing big was needed. The community was strong enough, like more than strong enough, right? And a lot of people weirdly like that were attracted onto Solana because of like meme coins and stuff like that. They didn't even know about the existence of Soulflare until the rebrand and how much hype it got. And that hype was solely produced by the community, right? So. Yeah.
Cool.
Sometimes there are certain projects that will take like months to complete. So how do you build a community when you're pre-product?
It's kind of a hard question, but honestly, it's just starting out. Like it's literally just starting out. You're like start up your Twitter account and just start messaging people, right? And like if you have a Discord, for instance, there's so many people that are just scouring the internet for the new product. They want to get in early on, right? And you'll just start reaching out. And there's like even there's projects that like even my company that I worked with small account, and what they did is the few accounts that do come in, they'll make personal relationships where like they'll do Discord calls or they'll personally reach out like what attracted you guys to our project and stuff like that, and you grow it from there. Because if you're building something, you kind of don't want to invest too much of your time just like trying to work on people, right? Like, so, yeah.
With your model specifically, you said you've got a lot of testers lined up.
Yeah, it's,
That could be your first shot at it, maybe.
Yeah.
So anybody who like you've said, I'm going to test it. If I'm like over the moon about the speed and everything, and it's working, say, hey, can you tweet about us? It'll start building up some anticipation.
And if they're willing to give you feedback on your product, then they definitely kind of care. Or even if you have 100 testers, you get 10 people that actually care, then more than just trying out what you're trying to build because they're just trying to get in on something, right? Even if you get of that 100 people, 10 people who actually care more than the product itself, that they want to do more, you could always empower, right? It's just asking. It's just simply asking. Like most of the ambassadors that I even know, that I have like personal relationships with, it's like, how was your experience of you coming on as an ambassador? I got a DM. Is literally it. Weirdly enough, like I actually answered the Soulflare like account because one, it's a known account, and two, I already followed them, so I will actually, it won't get lost in my DMs, right? So, but it's just like cold messaging, especially if you're just starting out. It's just hustle and getting people to care.
You're in a pretty powerful room as well. If you can get a few people to care,
Yeah.
do you have any insights on the operations involved in managing these 42 or like 43 people?
There's one guy.
And he does
His
everything.
name is Philip. He goes by Mackie on Twitter. Just one guy. Call him the social architect. Right? He does it all. And him and there's two other people there. They got two other people to help with like doing spaces and stuff like that. But the initial ambassador program and even the Guardians was started off by one guy.
And what kind of tools do they use to like communicate with the 43 people? Are there any,
It's just a Telegram chat. Yeah.
do they give you like some graphics that you can disseminate, or are you just creating your own?
Yeah, like every company has like a brand kit, right? So if you want us to use it, like there's web links for it. Like, hey, if you want pre-made graphics that you want to use, if you want to write like a thread about us or whatever, there's pre-existing brand kits that like all major companies have, and then you just provide them that, and your community takes care of the rest.
Go ahead, Yuki.
Could you give me some example of what you did before the program? I'd like to know why the software chose you. So I'm assuming that you wrote some like a thread.
Zero threads.
Zero.
Let's see your Twitter.
Hold on. It's just go to it right now. The third web. That's it. It's a cat with the do-rag with the chain. That's the PFP.
Third web.
Yeah, like LE and then third web. I'm not French, so just I'm putting that out there as well. But yeah, so before I get to you, yeah, I probably tweeted before I got that DM, like maybe like 5-6 times, just randomly throughout, just saying why I liked it, and whenever they introduced like new features, whatever. One of them was very critical because it was like an NFT that I minted, and it wasn't showing up. It was a CNFT in the early days, and I even went in the chat and I was very vocal, and not in the nicest way, but it was perceived in the most positive way, and they addressed it, right? But other than that, what led to my DM is essentially just me just saying like, look, Soulflare is doing this, and this. Keep up the great work. blah blah blah. It's just like randomly, like I wasn't paid to do it. Like I used the wallet and I just recognized it and then I just tweeted it. There's others in the community that, as the ambassador program was getting bigger, it was like threads, videos, like they definitely put in more effort than I, to be completely transparent. But yeah, I did not do anything crazy, but they did notice a sub 3K, probably sub 2K at the time of the DM. That was just sharing about Sulfur.
Are you familiar with starting to use AI agents as ambassadors? And if so, do you have any tips?
I don't think there's a lot of AI agents, but I don't think there's any plans to use that. And they were even talking about it where like whenever like a tweet literally blows up, which is like on like Sulfurs, and it's essentially just mainly ambassadors and the guardians that are raving about it, you automatically get these chatbots just responding. I don't think there's need for that at the moment, at least for Soulflare anyways. I don't know. Maybe it's a question for the team to answer, but I don't think they have any reason to do so because engagement is already strong and it's genuine and organic. Simon.
Last one for me.
Yes, sir.
There's not any more after. Across all the platforms that you use to engage with your community, I'm going to say Discord, Twitter, Telegram, maybe LinkedIn is starting to be on your radar. How much of Soulflare's resources are dedicated to each one and like a percentage-wise basis?
I can't talk of LinkedIn and others, but I think I'd say from what I know, I would say it's like solid 50-50 between Telegram and Twitter. Because the Guardians community exists on Guardians and the ambassadors, they exist on Telegram. They are transitioning Guardians, I believe, into Discord because they kind of want to start doing educational content for them as well. Because a lot of the Guardians, the team has already recognized that they're already doing like threads and how to use the wallet videos without them even asking. So they wanted to bring them onto the Discord and from the team level provide educational content for the Guardians just so they could be better educated and also spread more accurate information on like Twitter and stuff like that. So yeah, it's about 50-50, but it's transitioning into Discord for that. Yes.
So I was wondering, once you have a community, how do you keep it engaged? So like a Discord server before, with like a decent amount of members, but it's kind of dead. So I was wondering if you have any tips for that.
Yeah, like weirdly, from what I've noticed with the Guardians, especially, is they're just naturally active. Like they're always just championing each other. They're always like by default, it's just like the social media exposure like channel or whatever. Like they'll join, they'll like retweet, they'll do it on themselves. And what they the other thing that they do is it's like on Twitter Spaces, there's a whole lot of Twitter Spaces like they restrict who they bring up to speak and stuff like that. When these guys do it, there's no like restrictions. Like if they recognize you from the community, you come up and you can speak. Your regional, like what region, what like language, it doesn't matter. If you can communicate, you're open to communicate.
So my second question was gonna be like, is there any merit to like making a community exclusive? But I guess you said like being the opposite is kind of better, like all inclusive.
Well, we're it's kind of both with here. Like Ambassador is just very, very small group of people who get the badge and stuff like that. And then there's the Guardians who don't get the badge, but they're still part of the whole community. Like there's no differentiation, right? it's kind of how you want, it's kind of depending on the product, right? I would say it's always good to start your core base with kind of exclusive, but having like an open door policy, and then you kind of filter out who you let in and out, right? And then just as you grow, maybe you could have like 2 tiers or just like one massive community. But it's better to have a, you know, semi-small group, because then you could always get them to kind of, you know, manage the bigger group, which is kind of what takes place with like the ambassador program. Right?
Thank you.
No worries. Anyone else?
All full up on community? Cool. Well, thank you.
If anybody has interest in joining like the Guardians or ambassadors and want help, I can try to provide what I can. No promises.
Oh, well, that's it for workshops for Friday. We'll be open 24/7 over the weekend if people want to keep grinding through. And we might have some fun activities to do over the weekend, so hop in on Saturday and Sunday if you want to check those out. And keep an eye on that Startup Village Telegram group chat. Thank you.
Thank you.